Okay, we'll call the February 2nd meeting of the City Council. Will please rise for the vote of silence followed by the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Councilmember Clausen.
Here.
Councilmember Alexander. Councilmember Conklin.
Here.
Councilmember Bricker.
Here.
Councilmember Brandon. Here. Mayor Long.
Here. Approval of the minutes for the January 9th regular meeting and the January 22nd special meeting. Ooh. And a second.
We,
Question.
or may include, to reflect the special agenda or the additional agenda that I carried, from our executive council meeting on this. That,
Might have added that before it was printed.
okay,
And I think Abby already added that, because
okay,
Okay,
when I got here.
so you're okay with it?
Yeah.
There, right?
I am.
Would you see my corrections?
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri. Yes. Councilmember Clausen.
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yep.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Bricker.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Public comments and requests, comments from residents and city taxpayers. Okay, gentleman in front there,
I'd like
please
to,
get your name and your.
my name's Matt Crawford. I'd like the opportunity to speak on behalf of the unfinished business items B and C about rejecting the water line contract bids on behalf of Harbor Utility Contractors. I can do that now, or we can wait until.
Why don't we wait till the agenda item is
Absolutely.
called? Okay, you don't mind?
Not a problem.
Ted, you had your hand up.
Yes, Ted Forbes. Excuse me one second. Yes, I'm gonna make this brief as I can. Wanted to ask a question. Sorry. I wanted to ask a question about the council members. Did they look at the 7 items I had raised and had they addressed them in any way? Did anyone look at the 7 I had given you and look at them and address them in any way?
I read them.
I read them as well.
We read over them. I read over them.
Okay, very good. And did you have any remarks to make as a result?
I do not.
Okay, and, okay. Okay, I have here 5 recommendations or actually requests that I'd like to make. I read them out loud twice to find out how long they would take to read. It would take 3 minutes, so I'm figuring maybe I won't do that. You've got a full slate tonight. But I would like to hand out these requests if I may do that,
You may.
okay?
Thank you.
If I can hold it, I can shoot it to you, couldn't
You look, said you pointed the back to you already, you know,
Yeah. You've been duly warned, so.
Yeah, that's good. You got me. Oh my God, look at this, I am trapped.
No.
There we go. Is the press here tonight?
sir.
Is the press here tonight?
I offered to pass them around.
No,
I know, he's trying to keep me from killing myself.
they're not here, but.
They're not here, but they're here.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll get something to them.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you very much. Other comments? Over here, please state your name and your address, please.
My name is Janine Bruno. I'm with Rotary Club of Downtown Lock Haven, and I'm from Dunstown over on Linnet Lane.
Thank you.
We have a request for use of Triangle Park. I have letters here that I can pass out. I will not trip over the wires, I promise you.
Yeah, so see, hand it to us and we'll pass it around.
Yes, yeah, oh, you want to trip over anything.
Thank you.
It's on the agenda, would you like to wait till we hit that part on the agenda if you want to make a presentation about it?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay, thank you, that'll keep us moving here, thank you very much. Anyone else, something that's not already on the agenda, anyone? Yes, sir.
Hello, Joshua on South Island Street. First I want to start off, I didn't know Ted Forbes was going to be here. I've never met him. I'm just beginning with this. Upon watching the special meeting, 12 days ago, 11 days ago, I watched it live online. I was very disappointed by this council's responses to him as a citizen, a person in America who has rights. He has ample duty to come and ask questions. He was demeaned to being minimized to quizzing this council. And the reduction of that to not listen to his questions as a citizen comes as a violation of the Sunshine Act, just as him. We are allowed to come and ask questions, but to tell him in the middle of him questioning and asking if you have thought through things, yes, you do not have to answer these questions, but we still, as citizens, have the rights to come and ask them. It is not quizzing council. So I really wish better of this council, because it was very hard to see that, of just this flagrant disregard of him as a citizen.
No. Anyone else have anything that's not already on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on. 4B, request to install flagpole adjacent to Veterans Park.
We have a letter from, Mr. Harder, who is here this evening, if you want, if you want to talk to this, or.
Yeah, I can. So excuse me, the voice is like feeling a little under the weather. I don't know if everybody has a picture.
Yeah.
Originally, when we removed the large flagpole from Veterans Park, it was desired to move across and be behind Corman, so there would be a big flag behind Corman. That flagpole was in really bad shape when I took it down, so the VFW has voted to pay for a flagpole. It's over $9,000 just for the pole. We'll place it at no cost to the city. I'll get in conjunction with Kyle, is that your maintenance guy? And get a good placement. And then we'll put some nice hardscaping, and there's some bushes there that he really wants gone, so I'll pull them out while I'm in there and make it really nice. I think if you've seen what we did at Veterans Park, you know what you're gonna get. So the goal would be just to present this on July 4th for the 250th, which I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
And if you go to Portland, if you see that port flag that's hung on a rail there, it's hanging in there. I think somebody finally took it down, but it was pretty tattered. We deserve a little better there, I guess I'd say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept? Approve the request.
A second.
Motion in a second, thank you. Any further discussion on it? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri.
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen.
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Mayor Law.
Yes, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 4C, resolution number 2026-06, Career Link Fairman.
This is a resolution for the installation of a banner across Main Street from May 3rd to June 3rd for the advertising of the career fair through PA Career Link.
Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
Motion, Florence, second. Any comments or questions on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Printer,
Yes.
Councilmember Brannich,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4D, closure of East Main Street from Jade Grove for November 19th for a holiday event.
Mark Schlesinger and the Susquehanna Event Center is requesting the closure of East Main Street from Jade Grove on Thursday, November 19th, from 3 to 9 p.m. for a community holiday event and celebration. And I will work with the organizers and Public Works and make sure PennDOT and all the permits are approved prior to that.
Council should know Mark planned to be here tonight. He had a fall and was injured and was unable to attend. So just wanted to let you know, he asked to let you know that. It's wish council.
Did he happen to tell you what you're planning to do while it's shut down too?
Yes, it would be a holiday event with vendors and just kind of keeping the details a little bit. They're
he
working on
wants
the
to make
details,
it a
but
big-
it's like a holiday celebration with vendors and
You know, some businesses love it when we do that, and some businesses feel like they close down early and go home, cause,
What?
I mean, I know we have to
What
go
time
this
is
twice.
it? Oh, 3 to 9.
3 to 9 on
the
a
event would be
Thursday.
5 to 7:30. But that just gives them time for cleanup.
And that's a Thursday?
Yes, I believe it's Thursday. before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
I double check that too, yeah, that's a Thursday.
I move approval.
Motion,
I'll second.
motion floor and a second for the question.
Yeah, I have a question. In case you would probably already know, but does not interfere with downtown plans for the holiday?
Shouldn't,
Okay.
it's before they start their even holidays.
Yep, understand. That's
And
just
this will
checking.
need a second reading, so.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
understand.
We can come back and ask them about more detail if needed. And it does require a second reading. So a motion on the floor and a second. Any other questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Printer.
Yes.
Councilmember Brannich.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 4E. Downtown Rotary at Triangle Park, May 22nd to June 16th, for Flags of Honor. And also the use of Triangle Park, September 11th for Angel Lights display. It's your turn now. Thank you.
We would like to leave the flags up longer this year until Flag Day because of the America 250. We thought it would be nice to have the flags up for a longer period of time.
Didn't really remember what prompted this short. Could you speak to it?
Because of the cutting the grass, because it's hard to cut the grass around them.
Yeah.
It's 25 days, and so that makes it really hard for the city crews to cut the grass. So I'm not exactly sure how we might go about that, but perhaps Public Works could work with them on. I don't know, but that,
Yeah, I vaguely
yeah,
remember. I
that
thought
was the
somebody had
issue
better
last year, was it's hard to
recollection.
cut the grass around.
Should we table this and have a meeting with us, Public Works to join us for the next meeting to discuss?
I think that's giving up our opportunity to move on it, so I'm gonna move agreement with this proposal based on those conversations though with Public Works. Because they may be volunteers to help clear that the grassy area,
Your motion is contingent upon.
contingent upon
Something
approval
being
by
worked out.
Public Works.
Works on how we can do that.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any questions or comments?
Real quick, I can't remember what our design was, but is there a way we can design it so it's closer to like the sidewalk or something like that? So maybe we just still get in there and mow and then weed whack
The
Around the
holes
poles.
are already in place.
Yes,
So
okay.
we have to remove
Yeah,
the holes. We have to have them dug up and replaced.
Right,
They are sidewalk.
Yeah.
They are pretty close to the
Yeah.
sidewalk. There's 3 rows around each side of the sidewalk, and on the gazebo side, there's 3 rows.
I think weed like that. It just time. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Yes, you
Was
have
this
that.
motion for both or just for flags of honor?
It's actually for both.
The motion is for, well, she was asking what the motion was.
Oh, okay.
The motion was for both, correct? And the second was also, thank you. Just want to clarify that procedure. So it's for both the flags of honor and the, angel lights display. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Bridger.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon. Mayor Long.
Yes. 4F, thank you very much, appreciate it. Closure of North Vesper Street from East Main to Water Street, June 27th from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. for the Pride in the Haven celebration.
This is the second reading of this. And it included this time the traffic through the alley and closing.
I move approval. She did the second reading.
I'll second.
Motion floor, second, any further comments, questions? So we're clear, it's gonna be like we did down on Grove Street, and there's gonna be stop signs, temporary stop signs there.
And
at
there will
the-
be, yeah. and
Yeah,
the
so they can still
barricades.
use the alley, but they'll have to come to a stop, so it's a. That's good, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander.
Yep.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Are there any other requests to deal with?
Nope.
Thank you. All right, unfinished business, 5A, appointments to the ABCs, authority boards and commissions.
This is one more appointment that was missed for a vacant position on the Flood Protection Authority, to appoint William Wallace of 125 North Summer Street, Lock Haven, to again fill a vacancy. The term would last until January 1st, 2030.
Do I have a motion to that?
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any further questions? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Brinker.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon.
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 5B, reject all bids for contract number 2025-03, the pipeline. I believe we have the engineer here tonight. You want to speak on that?
Yeah, sure. Thank
Your name and the company, just for the record, sure.
I'm Devin Jarrett. I'm a project manager with Twin Dobson Foreman. I think to speak on that a little, I'd like to back up and why we are in the situation that we're in and kind of what led us to it. The city consulted with Wayne Township early on in the planning process of this project, to limit the amount of roadway and property disturbance. They agreed upon doing a directional drill throughout the project as much as possible. The engineering drawings, specifications, and bid forms were geared towards directional drilling, accordingly. Then we posted bid advertisements on November 24th and December 1st. Held a pre-bid meeting on December 8th, and then had a cutoff for addendums and changes to the drawings on December 12th. Unfortunately, a lot of the questions that came in afterwards were too late to issue an addendum or change those bid documents. Then we opened bids on December 19th. And Harder's bid, which was here tonight, contained approximately 90% open cut, which was an effort to make the project more cost effective. So obviously, because the project was intended to be directional drill and what was being proposed was open cut, There were obviously some concerns with roadway restoration and property disturbance, especially in some of the areas of higher value up at Lincoln Trail in those areas. Also, the bid item did not contain proper asphalt restoration quantities that would be used in an open cut method. Since the city solicitor also represented Harbor Utilities, GDF engineers sought out some legal counsel from Eckert Siemens, who was the city's bond counsel for this project. We sent them the bid documents and the bids that were received for their review. We also met with Wayne Township as soon as they were available. And after speaking with them about the project and the effort to reduce the cost, they agreed to allow it to happen. But they would also like any areas in the roadway that are cut to be full pavement with mill and overlay restoration. The reason for that is that a lot of these areas have been paved within the last 5 years, very nice neighborhoods. And they also want to avoid any unnecessary property damages to people's homes in the areas. So they requested full width mill and overlay. And again, that current contract and bid has no items to allow for that. There's no big quantity for mill and overlay outside of the trenched area. So GDF provided a recommendation to reject all the bids in the waterline contract and rebid the project with the hopes to reduce project costs over the trenchless method, to provide a more accurate bid form, prevent any disputes during construction, to make sure we have the proper, advances to pay the contractor. Eckert Siemens reviewed all the bid documents, the bids submitted, and determined that the city may reject all bids. And I just want to point out that the engineer's recommendation is not meant in any way to suggest a lack of confidence in Harbor Utilities' work or experience, capability, or anything like that. The city and GDF and Harbor have a strong working relationship, which was demonstrated during an emergency well installation, I think in 2023. Where Harbor Utilities successfully completed a little over $800,000 in pipe work, which was awarded under an emergency authorization without public bidding. Any questions? Questions, council?
Okay, I have two questions. Number one, your original comments, said, as much as possible. Obviously, your documents say as much as possible. In the original bid.
You mean as far as staying out of the, or as much as possible?
Really, and with an open cut as much as possible.
Right.
So let me ask you this question.
Right.
So if in the midst of a project, the company that's doing the requested drilling goes back and says, we can't get through here, we're gonna have to open it, then how is that accounted for? Because you use the term as much as possible, which I'm sure isn't in the documents, but.
During construction?
Yeah.
During construction, it would be evaluated as a field change. In this case, the issue is, when it's bid, to give all bidders a fair opportunity at the job. It's bid as a directional or trenchless method. That way, each item on the bid, if it's 5,000 linear feet of pipe installed per trenchless method, each bidder has a fair shake at receiving the job. So, the bid form and the bid documents and the bid drawings were all geared 100% towards directional drilling.
I have to disagree with that, Devin, unfortunately.
Let it continue, we'll give you an opportunity.
So my other question would be, when an engineering firm creates the documents, they are doing that as a recommendation of consultant, correct?
I believe so.
So the decision is up to council whether we choose to follow that recommendation or not.
From what I understand, yes.
Okay, thank you, that's it, for my point.
Other questions? So you said you spoke to an attorney that basically said we should reject. Is that what you're being told?
Yeah.
That's. Okay.
I'm sorry, will you tell the reasons for rejecting all the bids at this point are because of one bid coming in with different methods of drilling and the other bid not having the opportunity to do a bid based on that same exact thing?
That's a portion of it, and also, I would say the other portion is that if the bid item or the bid form was more geared towards allowing open cut methods, we would have items on that bid form related to mill and overlay or certain things that we will run in construction if we do an open cut method, where if there's any kind of dispute, you know, say you have 1,000 yards of pavement on your bid form, but in actuality, we end up with, you know, 2,000 or something, you have that unit pricing to be able to go back and say, okay, we were over or under, there's a credit or you know, money due to the contractor. And because it was set up for a trenchless method, a lot of those items are not in place on current contract documents. And that's why the city engineer gave the recommendation to reject all bids, and also reached out to the attorneys to provide their opinion on the matter as well.
Anything else you got?
No.
You wanted to speak on, go ahead.
I do.
Your name and again, please.
My name is Matt Crawford. I'm representing Harbor Utility Contractors. I'm a project manager with them. And I personally put together the bid for the Youngdale project. There's a couple key points that I wanted to cover, and then I'm able to take any questions that any of the council members have. There's a couple things that we believe the council members should be aware of in regards to the option of accepting or rejecting the bid proposal. In discussions with Wynn Dobson and Foreman, they stated that legal counsel, they sent the bid to for review, is recommending rejecting the bid due to it being a qualified or conditional bid. This by definition means that in our bid, we're proposing to install work that is outside of the requirements in the project contract documents. So those are the specs, the bid form, the descriptions on how to perform the work. That's what that is. A simple example of this would be a conditional bid is you guys requested HDPE pipe for the project. And I said, I'll do it for X amount of dollars, but I'm going to give you PVC pipe. So that is what a conditional bid would be. So with our bid submission, we included our means and methods on how we would best recommend to install the work while remaining within the project contract document binds. So we're not doing anything that is not payable or described outside of the installation of the pipe, which is inclusive of directional drilling and open cut trenching, embedding and backfill, all typical pipe installation procedures that are outlined and defined in the project specifications. While it's part of the normal bidding process for proposals to be rejected for various reasons, typically a proposal that's rejected for a valid cause is then awarded to the next lowest bidder. So that would have been the other contractor. If ours was thrown out because it was a bad bid and it was, you know, we screwed up royally and our paperwork was bad and it was a horrible thing, it should be rejected to the next lowest bidder. But that's not the case. The engineer is recommending rejecting all the bids for the contract, and they're recommending to reissue the project for rebid while sharing our construction means and methods with the other contractors. We have already confirmed that the revisions on their plans and comments that will include are nearly identical to the means and methods that we provided with our bid on how we would best do the project. They have also sent our unit cost breakdowns to our competitors, so they know exactly how much it costs to install a foot of this pipe, every fitting, every structure, everything that we have a price on that is in that bid form has been shared with our competitors. So now our competitors can go back and look and say, well, this is how much it costs them to do this work. Now we can see if we can find a better way to do it. There's also a statement that the rebid is also about cost, which is important globally across the three contracts. However, 2 contracts were awarded that were overbid, while contract 3 was the only estimate that came in well under the engineer's estimate. We have also identified other areas of cost savings on the project and wanted to sit down and share them with the engineer to see if there were other ways that we could help save money globally across the projects to provide more cost savings that kind of do our part to help bring the overall budget down. The entire situation is very non-typical, and it puts Harbor Utilities at a disadvantage for providing as much information and guidance as possible during the bid for being put out to rebid with all of our recommendations. Harder Utility Contractors is a local group of guys. We've done a lot of work with the city of Lock Haven, have always done great work and had great relationships with the departments we've worked with over the years. We're not proposing to do anything differently than what is outlined in the contract documents, and we would install work to the highest standards that are expected of our crews. Ultimately, it's up to the city to make an informed decision with the best information that they have available for their community and residents. A final note that comes from the exact contract documents themselves that are legally binding for this project. The city of Lock Haven reserves the right to reject any or all bids, to waive any allowable informalities or irregularities in bids, and to accept any bid in which its judgment is in the best interest. Thank you for your time.
You, questions, anyone have questions? Recommendation?
I'm sorry, just to make a point very clear, so there were only two bids,
Yes, sir.
and the second bid was 3.49 million.
That sounds.
Was that over the engineer's projected cost?
I believe the estimate was 3.5 for the water line portion.
So just out of curiosity, why was there a recommendation to reject all bids? Or don't you know?
I can speak to portion of that. What I do know is that in talking with the legal counsel, there's also situations where a bid could be contested by another bidder if you were to accept what was considered a qualified bid. There's some risks there. I don't know the details of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyone willing to make a motion?
I'm gonna move that we accept Harger's bid on the project.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, a motion on the floor and a second. Questions or comments on the motion? Okay, call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Bricker.
Yeah.
Councilmember Brandon,
No.
Mayor Long.
I don't know, because I don't like going against what the attorney tells us, but it passes. Thank you, good discussion. Thank you for everyone giving input. Appreciate it. And we just move on from here, right? Thank you.
Don't need to do C then.
Pardon me?
We don't need to do C then, right?
No, we don't. That makes, item C moved. Sorry. So we're skipping 5C, that's no longer issue. 5D, locking police building update.
Maybe just a quick update, we had a lot of questions from the interested contractors for the Lockyer Police Building project. And Newport Horn Architects has extended the bid due date to February 19th at 3 p.m. The bids will be open and read aloud at 4 p.m. the same day, so just an update for accounts.
Anything else under unfinished business?
No.
Okay, new business. 6A, interim, city manager back pay during the transition.
This is information, discussed, for back pay and stipends for city employees. A and B for both city employees for the city manager transition. It is outlined, we did include proposed ordinance 2026-02 that will be advertised. The amounts, the appointment of myself for interim city manager was a monthly stipend of $5,000 to be paid each month. That proportionally back pay from January 23rd would be $1,500. And then for staff, I'm recommending a stipend, for Wendy's Fletcher in the amount of $1,000, per month, with back pay to be $300 from that same 23rd date. And then the remainder staff who will be picking up some duties either from my position as planner and development coordinator or to covering the city manager position, would be Casey Dunn, Jared Gist, Matthew Rickard, Carson Cox, and Cindy Walker, who are recommended to receive stipends of $380 a month, with back pay from the 23rd to be $114 a month. That's those numbers and all of the duties that will be assumed to be taking over, which does include all other duties as assigned. Just because we're not sure what may come up are included in the ordinance, that will be advertised and is in front of you today.
Go ahead. A motion, we want to do A and B together?
Yeah, I move approval on A and B. This is the first reading, correct? Did I understand? Yeah. That email earlier.
That's like Atkinson, manager, and then the additional responsibilities for the staff together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I move
Motion
approval.
And
for
a
A.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, further discussion. Thank you for taking the time to go through that and put that together. Mike. Okay, call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Bricker, Councilmember Brand,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 6C, resolution number 2026-07, naming Abigail Roberts as the Berkheimer tax liaison.
This is necessary for Berkheimer to have basically some tax documents we're working through some tax documents. So we're just looking for an approval of this resolution so I can be named as the contact and see that information.
I'll second.
Well, I guess we already want to.
Whoever.
Just write a name down.
We have a motion on the floor and several seconds on this. Any questions or comments on? Be cut and dried, actually. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Bricker,
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. 6D, RFP for interim financing for Wells and Mains project. Water system.
We have Daryl Peck here from Concord Public Finance for a presentation on this, and you all have the packet.
Good evening, everyone. Some presentation handed out at the beginning of the meeting. I'll be reviewing with you. A lot of familiar faces here, and a couple of new ones since I've been here last, I guess it was maybe in 22 or 23. I'm Daryl Peck with Concord Public Finance. I've been a financial advisor for the city for, I think, over 15 years or more. So what we want to talk about this evening are, we're talking about the same project, but two components of it, okay? I added a background here again for maybe some of the council members who weren't here in 2022. So you've been working on the Wells and Mains project. Again, I think you indicated 10 years or more.
I think close to 8, yeah.
Well, okay, 8. In the financing role, it dates back to as far as 2022. So that's where I'm going to start my presentation here. So you're moving forward even more materially with the Wells and Mains project. In September of 2022, the city completed the first interim financing. It was called the General Obligation Bond Series C of 2022, in the amount of $1.7 million. Those costs were used for the preliminary costs, the design, the permitting, et cetera, to get to the point where you can bid the project. It's commonplace. You have to do interim financings to design and permit the project before you can go to Penvest or the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority to get the low interest funds or low interest loans from Penvest. So that was course of action is, and that was more of like a line of credit meaning you used as much as you needed over the past 3 years. Now we're coming to the point that, you know, the 2023 C bond will ultimately be rolled into the Penvest loan when you're able to settle on Penvest. We'll talk about the timing towards the end of the presentation. No doubt, the project has been delayed for numerous reasons, mostly the kind of the permitting from the state agencies. So while we thought that we'd already be the project would already be underway and would have been done, now we're at the point in time where you're gonna have to refinance or basically extend the maturity date of the 2022 C bond. So over on page 2, current situation, the 22 C bond matures on April 1st of 2026, about 2 months from now. So you're basically gonna need to refinance or restructure that note to extend the maturity date to a point in time that you're comfortable and you're gonna be able to close on Penvest. Because the time that has already elapsed, interim financings can only have a time period of 59 months, 5 years, or 60 months would be 5 years. So we will be able to issue the 2026 A note in the amount of $1.7 million with a maturity date as late as August 1st of 2027. So we're going to gain another 1 year and 4 months, and knock on wood, we're pretty comfortable that, or with your team, pretty comfortable you'll be able to get to a Penvest closing well before that. There's no reason not to go all the way out to August 1st of 2027. We're going to structure this to be prepayable at any time without penalty. So the last thing you want to do is say, well, we think we're going to be done in 4 to 6 months. Then potentially I can be back here 4 to 6 months from now and say, now we need another 8 months. Obviously, costs come with the refinancing. So certainly our recommendation and consultation with your entire team is we're going to refinance the $1.7 million out to August 1 of 2027 to get as long as we can with all moving forward with due diligence to actually move forward with Penvest sooner rather than later. That's step one. That's the $1.7 million 2026A to basically refinance and extend the maturity date of what's already outstanding. Step number 2, under additionally, as is common with Penvest financings, Penvest works on a reimbursement basis, meaning once you award a contract and are paying the project costs, the city will have to pay them, and then you submit the reimbursement to Penvest. You usually get that money within 30 to 60, maybe sometimes 90 days. So you need like a cash flow loan so you have money to pay the contractors, and then until you get your reimbursement from Penvest. Also, there may or may not be some costs that you might incur before we even get to a Penvest closing. And number 3, on the back end of the project, when the project is all done, Penvest keeps a 5% retainage until they go through all of their approvals, checklists, oversight, et cetera. So, you know, that amount could even be as much as $500,000, that retainage at the end of the project. So we're also going to be suggesting, again, as a commonplace, to do another $1.5 million interim financing. Now remember, that'll be a line of credit as well, meaning you'll only use it to the extent you need to use it. So it's kind of like an insurance policy of liquidity. And you only use it when you need it, and then when you can pay it off, you'll pay it off. So the 26A note, the 1.7 million, and the 26B note will be drawdown loans and will be prepayable at any time. And from a conservative standpoint, the 2026B note will mature on August 1st of 2029. So we get 5 years, we get that 59 months or 5 years for the second financing, because each financing can have that long of a period of time. So the Series B note will be during the project phase or the construction phase to be able to pay the cost of the project while you're waiting reimbursement from Penvest. To go over the timing of the entire project and the financing schedule on page 3. Back in October, you already received your initial PennVest permanent funding offer. Obviously tonight, we're talking about the interim, refinancing plan and the additional financing, the 1.5 million. Should you direct us to move forward, tomorrow we would send out a request for proposal or an RFP package to a number of banks, probably 30 or more banks, to again, get proposals for both notes. And we're gonna actually do that they could be awarded separately. If for some reason one bank came in with a better proposal on the shorter term and another bank came in with a better proposal for the longer term, we can choose to award them separately. May or may not make sense, but we leave that open, obviously for the benefit of the city. Then ultimately, we're gonna need you to do an ordinance at your March 2nd meeting, but I think we're already talking about having a special meeting on February 16th.
That's correct.
And that doesn't need to be firm tonight, but that's my understanding is you're gonna plan to have a special meeting, okay. On February 16th, that'll be the first reading of the ordinance. I'm gonna look to get the proposals back on February 24th. We usually give the bank about 3 weeks. And then you'll be ready to do your second reading of the ordinance to incur the debt and accept the loan proposal or proposals on March 2nd. If necessary, you're gonna be submitting a supplemental financing application with PennVest. And most importantly, there in yellow, we'll be able to close on March 30th on the 2026 A and B notes. Most importantly, to be able to pay off or refinance or pay off the existing 2020 C note. So I'm going to pause there for a second because that's right now the critical stage, and then I can talk about the rest of the project phase at the time. So how about if I pause there? Again, we really are we need to move to make sure that you can honor your obligation to pay off the 2 C note.
Question.
Fairly straightforward. Seems fairly straightforward.
Okay, I just like to give the background, that's all. I know why are we doing what we're doing?
I appreciate that as someone who was not on council.
Yeah, okay. So the rest of the project, and these are somewhat to be determined and more sequencing things, but I think it's again important to understand why we're doing these on different time frames. On April 15th, PennVest meets again. If you still need a supplemental funding, the expectation is you would get that on April 15th. The bidding and award is still moving through your process, to be as late as May or June. In mid to late 2026, you do your legislative process for the PennVest loan, separate apart from the interim financings we're talking about right now. Construction would begin. You close on PennVest. Obviously, when you close on PennVest, you'll pay off the 2026 A note, the $1.7 million. You'll still maintain the Series B note through the whole construction phase. Estimated completion date. We always talk about these sometimes conservatively. We all understand there might be delays with certain projects. It's estimated completion date is probably late 27 to mid 28. And then we're permitted to have the $1.5 million kind of construction phase loan. We'll have that mature in August of 29. Just have one more year. Again, you don't want me back here in 28 and say, oops, we need 6 more months or 12 more months. So again, we're doing that from a conservative perspective. On page 4, saw some of you peeking at this presentation before I started speaking. Understand this is presented as a preliminary and B kind of conservative or not to exceed schedules. So the Series A note will be the 1 year and 4 months. Obviously, you'll pay that off as soon as we close on PennVest for the $1.7 million. And for Series B, again, I have to show this as more of a not to exceed, meaning if you borrowed all the money on day one and if you didn't pay it all off until 2029. Obviously, it's just like your personal life, you'll use it to the extent you need to. And you'll pay it off when you can pay it off and to minimize your interest expense. So with that, again, I'll entertain any more questions, but I think really all we're looking for you tonight is obviously a general understanding of how we're going to proceed and really just to authorize us to proceed with the request for proposals. You know, this isn't an authorization of the borrowing, it's an authorization to move to the next step and bring back proposals for your acceptance at the March 2nd meeting.
You said page 4 is the worst case. Does that mean that the interest rate is,
No,
higher, or that's set?
that's not set. I'm not the bank, okay? Yeah, we're gonna go through a request for proposals to get interest rates from the banks. I believe it's conservative. I think you want me to give you something conservative tonight and kind of outperform it. I think we'll get rates lower than that, but it's just, again, just more of a framework to give you an idea. But again, most importantly, these loans may not be outstanding for that entire period of time.
Right.
Questions?
So actually, this is a question for Abby, and this is the proposal to Penvest is 20 years, correct?
Right.
Thank you.
Any other
Yes.
questions? There to make a motion to that the RFP to finance.
I'll move to put out an RFP for interim financing.
Motion on the floor and a second. Questions or comments on the motion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen.
Yeah.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Pritchard.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll move forward. We'll see you on March the 2nd.
Item 6E, Locking City Authority request for payment of the 2025 audit costs.
In a letter from Richard Markievicz, there is a request to pay $1,837.50 for the Lafayette City Authority's audit. That is half of it, because of the water and sewer split, so.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Move favor.
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Missouri,
Yes.
Councilmember Clausen.
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Pritchard.
Yes.
Councilmember Brandon,
Yes.
Mayor Long.
Yes. Do we have any other new business?
We do not.
Okay, we have the reports from liaisons and so on. Minutes from the Water Filtration Authority meeting. I thought that meeting went fairly well.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I thought
comfortable
it was
with that.
very encouraging. But good step in the right direction with that. Any other boards or does anybody wants to report?
Yeah, the flood authority, had a meeting a couple weeks ago. We actually put a policy in place. Now there's going to be a fee, anybody believe like flow easements. Anybody requesting the flow easement has to pay all expenses associated with that. Rich Marson Cavage's time advertising in the paper, if the solicitor's involved, plus a $20 application fee. So that's going to greatly reduce the amount of money that we need to ask for the city to fund the flood authority. As well, there was discussion of why isn't Castanea part of the flood authority? And Rich said, 30 years ago, they didn't want to be. Should we ask them and see if there's interest? So, but because he said that for that to actually happen, the governments that created the authority would have to agree to it. So that would, it could die with us, it could die with Woodward. But let's see if Castanea is even interested first. So the letter's going out. So if anybody hears anything about, oh, Castanea is joining the flood authority, that's like step one. We're just, so.
There's a process that would have to be followed before that could happen, but
Right.
you're investigating it at this point.
Right.
Thank you. Anyone else with their spectators? We did have the Cons Committee meeting prior to this. Not a lot updated yet. We're still talking about structure of this year's events and how that may moving forward. Again, I think you're making good progress with it. See where it all heads up. Does anyone else have anything for council this evening?
I have all of my ABCs this week, so next time I'll have so
Fair
many
enough,
updates.
yeah. Fair enough.
I think it's important to, do a special shout out to the Public Works, the street,
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
the snow removal.
Honestly, in all the years that I've been involved, I mean, that might have been the fastest and then. And that's not to take it away from prior times, but they did a good job.
They really
getting
did, they did.
Out of the downtown.
There was a lot of really positive comments, which is always
I've
nice.
not heard this many positive comments, you know, ever before. So, thanks to City Public Works.
Yes, thank you. Very good. Anything else, Mark?
No,
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
For adjourn, thank you, everyone.